With great love and respect in my heart, I welcome you to this beautiful Sunday morning. Before we begin today, let's just take a moment to arrive, settle down. So wherever you are, just pull your spine straight, open your shoulders, lighten your mind, and close your eyes. Invite that peace, calming, cooling sensation in your eyes. Thinking of a beautiful flower unfolding, just relax your facial muscles. Relax your neck, shoulders, spine. Softening the belly, get grounded. Imagine the breath is rising from the belly, from the navel, rising towards your heart as you breathe in. As you breathe out, attention comes back to the navel. This vertical movement of your attention with each breath. As your body settles down even more, your breath becomes very calm, effortless. Connect with the gentle pulsation that's happening with each breath. Little expansion and contraction. As the breath comes in, there is a feeling of little expansion. As it goes out, contraction. Pause the breath wherever it is, just pause it and keep experiencing the expansion and contraction. Can you breathe without breathing? Before you begin to stress out, release the breath. Pause it again. In this pause, you can almost feel you are breathing through your whole body, not just through your lungs, through that expansion and contraction. Gently return to your normal breathing. Bring your attention to the heart. As the breath comes in, there is a feeling of opening of the lotus. As the breath goes out, closing the lotus of the heart. So holding an image of lotus flower unfolding and closing. Keep the lotus open. Disconnect with the breath. Focus fully on the heart lotus, fully open. Golden light above the lotus, filling the dome. We bow to that light within us. We bring our attention to the triangle between the eye sockets and center of the forehead. Imagine your eyes being absolutely still, attention resting in the center of the forehead. Pause the breath for a moment so your attention could deepen. Stillness of the body, stillness of the breath, stillness of the eyes, stillness of the mind. And slowly we open our eyes. thank you for taking this time. After a few days of heavy rains, flooding everywhere, water going where it shouldn't be going, but it did. The sun is shining now. I was just thinking about just past 3-4 days. When it was raining, it was really raining hard. You're cooked inside. There was no sight of the sun. And then the sun came out. I could almost feel everybody's spirit uplifting with the brightness. Even today, looking at you and all around, everybody has a little bigger smile. So that's the blessing of the sun. Source of energy. How often do we really take a little time in a normal day to greet the sun? Just look at your own life. You have 24 hours. Do you ever stop and just look at the sun and be thankful? Yes, we can sit down with a glass of wine and look at a nice sunset and say, wow, nice sunset. Is that thanking the sun or gratifying our own senses? You may think, yes, I appreciate the sun, with a glass of wine and watching the sunset. How can we make that moment sacred? I'm not saying sitting with a glass of wine and appreciating it is you shouldn't do that too. But bring the little sacredness. In India, for example, in olden days, it said there is a tradition. In the morning, after doing your daily rituals, cleansing and bathing, you take a little pitcher of water and looking at the sun, you slowly pour the water. If you are bathing in a river, usually in those days people used to bathe in a river. They will wade in the river, dip, cleanse. Then they have a little pot, dip in the water, and looking at the sun, reciting a mantra. Most of you already know Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodaya. If you don't know, doesn't matter. But if you know, enjoy it. Use it. It's not just to sit and say here and there. Mantras have a specific purpose and time. So in olden India, even new India, those who do, who don't. But there is a tradition of greeting the sun in the morning. We can intellectualize greeting the sun. We can read about it, but doing something has a whole different meaning. Even if you don't believe in something, don't want to, someday just get a taste of it. I'm not saying you do it, just get a taste of it. Maybe take a little pitcher of water and looking at the sun, just slowly. Again, sun is not thirsty and you're not offering sun water. It's more for your own, that you are doing something. You're using one of the elements. The sun is the fire element and you are taking the water element in your hand and just slowly thinking of the gratitude, thinking of thankfulness, thinking of this source of energy that makes us move every day. In this sacred way, or I'm making it sacred with my own intention, I'm just spending a few moments. It's not something that only some yogis do, Hindus do. It's not in my tradition, it's not in my religion, so why should I do it? It has nothing to do with it. You do something else. How can you make a ritual of appreciation? God doesn't need ritual. We humans need a ritual. Doing something with the elements towards that which we are appreciating. Somebody comes to your house. What is the first thing you do? You offer him a glass of water. Water is one of the best elements, best medium to carry your whatever. So whatever you are thinking, you are greeting the guest in your house, you offer him a glass of water. The thought that you are holding in your mind is saturated in that water, and that person receives your welcome. If somebody comes to your house and you are sitting on your computer reading something, maybe reading about them, but the person is standing there, you have to get up and offer him a seat and give him a glass of water. So this getting up, offering him water, offering him a seat is called a ritual. Otherwise, you could be just sitting, I'm just reading about your glory. But you are standing right there. How we engage in the world, everything is a ritual. Everything is a ritual. How you eat, how you drink water, how you pick up your phone to answer, how you engage in the work. It's all rituals. Now, the choice is there whether you can make it a ritual or you can just call it work. How do we make something a ritual that can be rich? Ritual makes our action rich. The simplest thing is, if you could form a habit of, before jumping into something, just stop. What is the next step? Take a step back and then take a deep breath. This is what most of you who have been around me, listening to me, this is one of the practices that I do, give. No matter where you are, no matter what you are flowing towards, you are engaging in, stop. Stopping happens in the mind. Because most of the time, whatever we are going to do, we begin to flow in that direction. Before we even engage, our energy is flowing in that direction. Stop that flowing energetically. And how do you stop flowing energetically? Pause the breath. Bring your attention to the navel. Navel is the source of our energy from where we flow. So, pause the breath. Very gently, effortlessly, just bring your attention to the navel. You have come back home. Pause the breath, bring the attention to the navel. Take a nice deep breath. And that breath could be the breath. Imagine the breath is starting from here and just opening your heart. Your heart is open. If you can't think about something, just cultivate this little vision, that little golden Y, I call it. Imagine the breath is rising from there and just a beautiful Y. Engage. Ritual. This is a beautiful ritual of engaging in the world in no matter what situation you are in. You can hear about it, and while you are listening to it, it sounds good, sounds doable. But unless we practice it, it's useless. It just becomes one more information to gather and file away somewhere and start looking for something new. Practice, practice, practice. It's the practice and doing that gets you enlightened, not reading and knowing more. What was the practice of Buddha? Buddha had, when he left his home, he traveled all around and met all kinds of holy people and got all kinds of practices, austerities, and he fasted and his bones were sticking out. He didn't get enlightened because he was always looking for something more. He got tired. He came to Bodh Gaya and he said, I'm going to sit under this tree. I'm not going to get up until I am enlightened. And the practice was very simple. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Nothing more. Three days later, he was enlightened. It's the doing that gets us wherever we need to go, not thinking and reading and imagining, doing. That doing starts with imagination. But doing is important. May your practice be very simple. The simplest you can imagine. Practicing it, doing it, making it your own. I'm not making it up. It is old, time-tested knowledge. You come to the ashram or you go somewhere, you have the mantra, your guru has given you a mantra. You don't need anything more. Nothing more. If you could just develop your relationship with the mantra. Mantra, mitra. Mitra means a friend. Guru has already introduced to a friend. Now it's all about falling in love, getting married and having kids and the grandkids. Introduction has been made. And that relationship goes through its own. It has its own journey. In the beginning, there is excitement and all kinds of honeymoon, and after that, there is a little I don't know what happens, but it goes through it goes through its phases. And you have kids and grandkids, and everything has its flavor. In the same way in your spiritual sadhana. Same thing. As long as I'm committed to it, there is no questions asked. There will be some good days, some not so good days. But having that firmness in that relationship, we keep moving. Baba used to say, even a moment of doubt in your practice drains sometimes all the hard work you have put in previously. It's the doubt that is the biggest obstacle. You have your mantra. You have your practice. Mantra is seed mantra, seed sound. It is called Bija mantra. You have a very good seed. You can't just sprout it in concrete. You have to provide the right kind of soil, moisture, warmth, protection. Seed can sprout, nice sapling, but if it's not protected, a goat can come and chomp it. And who is that goat? Some of your friends, oh, this is hocus pocus, what are you doing? This is nonsense. That's a goat. That is just going to chomp on it and all
goat
this.
Is also greatest of all time, right?
So you have to protect the sapling. You have to protect it. Having the right kind of company that supports it. Somebody who has sprouted it, somebody who has grown a tree. Being in that kind of company helps. Mantra mitra. Your mantra is your friend. And we all have friends, lots of introductions have been made. Some we keep as a just monthly Starbucks meet and text once in a while and check in and hi, hello, hi. And there are lots of people who have received the mantra and they are still on that casual, whenever I feel like I do it, whenever I don't, I don't. If there is a hunger inside, that little introduction turns into appreciation first. Friendship deepens. You fall in love. How do you fall in love with somebody? You see good in them. You see all their good qualities. And if there are some other qualities you don't even pay attention to, your mind is always going on their good qualities. Then you fall in love. And once you have fallen in love, being around that person is not a chore. Being around that person is not a duty. You find any excuse to be around that person. Here I hear people, oh, I got to do my job. It's like an obligation. We have made a promise and we are keeping it. So in our sadhana, you have to look at it, what kind of relationship you have with your mantra. Is this like, you got to do it? Or you just want to do it? You can't wait till you find a moment to sit with it. The day you fall in love with your mantra, with your practice, something new opens up. I'm speaking about this because now the weather is going to get a little tough and you'll be more cooped in inside. And when you are cooped in inside, how are you going to spend your time? And the easy way to spend the time is watch some videos and movies and cook food and put on some weight, hibernate. That's one way. The other way is look at yourself, take care of your body and mind, do some yoga, do some exercise, and carve out a little time for your deepening your spiritual practice. What are the conditions under which is the seed sprouts? The seed of sadhana sprouts. First, there has to be a desire to sprout. Lots of people start something and then they forget to water it and it dies. There has to be a little excitement. Every day you go and check it out a couple of times. Is this, how big is the plant now? I see Sarah here in our garden. She puts a seed and she comes every day. Even though it's still under the ground, but she comes and checks it up and puts a little water on. And probably tells them sprout. So, same thing about your practice. Have that little curiosity. Have that. Something is always there with you. Moisture. What is the moisture in the spiritual sprouting? It's the love. Love towards your practice, love towards your guru, love towards your ashram. It's yours. Whatever the teaching your guru has given, align yourself with it. See if those teachings are in your life every day. Nowadays, people go on some retreat and get a mantra and they never see that teacher again. That's like going and getting a fine seed without instructions. And we are a culture of instructions. So having that presence in your life is very helpful. Some guidelines, some teachings that are with you. There is a presence. There is a company of like-minded people who are practicing. It's all helpful. Anyway, I don't know how I got there. I was appreciating the sun, source of light. Source of light within is your spiritual practice as well. If you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling good about your spending a little time. If you don't take a jug of water and pour looking at the sun, maybe just sit every day and visualize the sun sitting in the center of your forehead. Just be calm, be quiet, sit still. Even pause your breath for a moment and visualize white light in the center of your forehead with your eyes closed. That will give you plenty of energy to go through the day. Only if you do it. How beautiful your day can turn into the moment you wake up every morning, before you look at the phone, before you jump out, before you start playing with your cat. Just sit and pause your breath for a moment and visualize the sun right in the center of your forehead. That light of the sun can spread through your whole body and dispel all the anxiety and the fear and the doubt and the anger and confusion and depression. It can, provided you're regular with it, you're consistent with it, and you have a little feeling that this will. It will. So it's all about doing things. And in this day and age, there is so much information at our fingertips. And the time that we should be spending doing, we start looking for more. Anyway, Thanksgiving is coming. As Amy said, it's a very exciting time at the ashram. There was so much anger, fear, confusion, all kinds of stuff. And instead of flowing in all that direction, we decided to ground it all in something that will be used in days to come for expressing our devotion. And so we built 2 little shrines at the ashram where people can come to meditate. So on the 28th on Thanksgiving, we'll do Prana Pratishtha. Prana Pratishtha means infusing life. Just make it come alive. So we'll be doing that. And it has been also a week of Mahasamadhi. Sarkar Baba's Mahasamadhi. He left his body on the 28th of November. So we celebrate the day in a very special way. You will say, why to celebrate the day when a person leaves the body? Particularly an enlightened being, when they leave the body, it's a day of their freedom. As long as the body is there, that spirit is confined to one location. When that body is not there, that spirit becomes available to many instantly, becomes omnipresent. So that is the reason we celebrate the Mahasamadhi day, the day of passing, day of leaving the body of an enlightened being. So on the 28th, honoring that, we'll be consecrating the Shiv Mandir, and life will go on. Thank you all for listening. I hopefully something was there for you to hold on to. The whole purpose of this satsang was to focus you a little bit more towards your practice. Thank you all. I would love to hear if somebody has anything on their mind.